try to put it into words that will lead you to the truth. Because what any person who is anti-justice will do is, first of all, try to stay away from what the truth of the matter is. The truth is, you have a system of white supremacy in place. What you want to do, or should want to do, is replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice. The definition of justice is as follows: guaranteeing that no person is mistreated. That's part one. Guaranteeing that the person that needs help the most gets the most help for truth and justice.
The only reason I'm talking, not to make anybody feel bad, I'm talking because the goal of replacing white supremacy with justice on this planet is what I think ought to be happening. And this is what I think all of us should be interested in.
Well, how did you feel seeing that doll test?
You know, the thing that struck me the most was how quickly the kids answered the question. They said, this one is the nicest because she's white. There was no ambiguity. There was no, let me think about it. Or, this one, for whatever those reasons were. And I'm like, my goodness, what about the filter? At all of the images, everything that's coming in.
Isn't that interesting? Why do you think that is?
Wow, and I guess it goes back to the images. When we're looking at what's on television, we're looking at commercials, we're looking at advertisement, and with certain dolls in particular. Because I think about my 8-year-old. We advertise usually the white doll.
What's associated with the color white in society?
I want you to buy 20,000 shares of Blue Star at 15 1/8, 3/8 tops.
Attractive. Black children watch more TV, unfortunately, than any other minority group. And they're bombarded, therefore, with all these vast, leaves them invisible. They don't see themselves, and they're not even aware of it.
Maxie's got the best hair.
Which is the pretty girl?
The one on the right, most likely.
The one on the right, most likely, and why would you say that?
Well, to me, she has the prettiest hair.
To what extent do you think white people have been able to create the illusion of being all-powerful?
Oh, they've done an excellent job of doing that. Everything from the religion down to the cartoons. And I'll give you an example. In the religion, of course, we go into church and we see God as a white man. Blonde hair, blue eyes, his mama is white, his daddy is white, God's angels are white, everybody at the Last Supper is white, nobody black even serving the roles when you come to God and those things that identify God. That we grow up looking at our religious scriptures thinking white people. So not only have they created the illusion that they are all-powerful like God, they've done even worse than that. Even in the cartoon, they've taken the mythology out of Egyptian civilization. Nile Valley civilization, like Isis, for an example. The ancient deities, the ancient god-like figures in ancient Nile Valley civilization, and made them white. So Isis then is a white lady. And she came out of Africa. In the cartoons I'm talking about. So even 4- and 5-year-olds are learning the concept of being socialized into the thinking that white people are all powerful. They do everything.
The way that we express ourselves on that unconscious level is a function of the world in which we live and the worlds that we have constructed for ourselves.
So it's about, when you think of the word entrepreneur, do you think of female or do you think of male? When you think of a black male, what do you think? Do you think good? Do you think evil?
Educational and programming device within the system of racism, white supremacy. What is it teaching? Go home, turn on your television, and flip through the channels. How many white images do you see? See, monitor the image, and then put another dot is the person speaking intelligence. See what we come up with for ourselves. It is programming, systematic programming about how we are supposed to perform and how we are supposed to see ourselves for the benefit of the system of white supremacy, for the maintenance of the power equation of white over non-white.
Even unconscious racial biases may affect your behavior. But when it comes to the potent question of race, our subconscious is making decisions every day. Decisions that in real time, in real life, have real consequences.
This may look like a computer game, but it's not. It's actually a test that's designed to measure how people react to different scenarios.
They had an opportunity to play the role of a police officer who had to make rapid decisions as to whether to fire at someone who was holding a gun or not. And what we were most interested in is what happened when they were confronted by a person, white or black, who was holding a harmless object.
Anthony Greenwald and his colleagues reported in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology that black people holding harmless objects were shot more often
We
than
think
whites.
people have these automatic stereotypes. They can influence behavior when people have to act in a hurry and produce unfortunate, tragic results.
In a significant respect, who we are is a function of the world that we create for ourselves. Right? If this unconscious side of us is reflecting our experiences, then if we choose different experiences, then that unconscious side of us changes as well. If you want to have a positive association between goodness and African Americans, then you must surround yourself or put yourself in environments where those kinds of experiences and associations happen and are possible.
Yes. And that's why images are so important, you know. What you see about a certain race or a certain time affects how you feel about that group of people. It really, really does.
See, the brain is most of what we focus on, you know, at the conscious level. That's just 10%. The brain is doing calculations all beneath that at the symbolic level.
Let me again use a phrase that I get an opportunity to use every morning on my show. Underestimate. And I remind people, we have been culturally conditioned to undervalue, underestimate, and marginalize ourselves. And white America certainly has a distinct advantage in making sure that every aspect of this culture, not only in the United States, but actually throughout all over the globe, that we are undervalued, underestimated, and marginalized.
The problem is really in the environment generally. When people leave the test, leave our experiment, they come back to the world that Malcolm described, in which white is dominant and most of the